Objections 101. Before we do it, Freddie, he is the head sales and mindset coach at Cowboy Closers, who has personally closed over 400 million, I shit you not, in real estate deals in his time. He's now part of the Cowboy Closers team, lives out here with Farley with me. And once upon a time, when I was in a shit place, he fucking lent me money. How about that? So if you're looking for a good friend, find a friend like Freddie. But for a lot of the introductory calls, discovery calls, sales calls, whatever you want to call it, Freddie is your guy if you have any interest in Cowboy Closers. Some of you are going to leave halfway through because you've got better shit to do with your day than listen to me. If that is you, then I'm going to put a fucking link in the chat now. If you don't know where the chat is, have a little look, and it should be easy to find, especially on desktop. You can book in with him. Potentially it would be with him or Zach, but without any further ado, I'm going to jump into it. But if you leave early and you want to chat, you know where to go. Bomb. Objections 101. Everyone's biggest fear. For me, when I get an objection, I get an erection because I know that they're primed and ready to buy. It's like what gets me hot under the collar. I know that if they're fucking giving me objections, I'm like, wow, we're in the fucking final phase of this shit. We're fucking in the 12th round and it's kill or be killed. And in this life, you're either sell or you're sold. I do not like getting sold. I like buying. I don't like getting sold to. And that's what happens when you let someone's objections end the call without taking their money, without accepting their card details, without becoming an ATM, then you've been sold to. And as a salesperson, you can imagine the amount of times you get sold to need to be lower than the amount of times you sell. So everyone's scared of objections. I'm going to tell you why not to be. There we go. What the fuck is an objection? Also, if you've been here before, you'll know that a lot of my photos are fairly random, but there's always a little link. So if you haven't seen the film or you don't know the reference, feel free to ask. But I'd love it if you've seen this sort of stuff, because there's a lot of sales movies, there's a lot of business movies, there's a lot of movies that will help you in sales. In my mind, there's a huge part of just learning off the job, whether it's books, podcasts, movies, TV shows, that you can get a lot of information and a lot of direction from. This film is like Time to Kill, I believe, with Matthew McConaughey. And for him, obviously, he's going to be handling objections all day long with the jury, with the judge, with everyone. So for me, like I said, the first step to getting a yes, to get your first no, to get your first objection, to get your first rebuttal. Someone doesn't want to buy something from you, first thing they're going to do is give you a reason why. And for me, this is like it's not the end of the world. We call it the objection pocket. When you sit in the objection pocket, it can be 10 minutes, it can be 5 minutes, it can be 45 minutes. You've got to battle objections for. And as long as you can handle the speed bumps, not shit your pants, you'll be fine. And the primary part of being in the objection pocket and handling objections is knowing that you're there to lead. Try and convince someone to do something, especially if you're not a authority figure, you're never going to win. So you're there to lead them. You're there to fucking navigate them down this path that you want them to go to, with them making the right decisions, making the right calls, feeling the right way, and everything comes from you. So an objection at the end of the day is really proof that they're thinking. My biggest thing is having people actually think, having them care, having them, have to fucking spend a few minutes in here, either to give a good reason as to why they don't want to do something, or to think about a good question that you've asked. And the goal is to make them feel. A lot of the time you'll be sitting in objections and they'll get real rational. They'll be in their reptilian brain, or the rational part of their brain, where they're just fucking firing out anything. And the key is to get them back into the limbic part of the brain, the emotional part of the brain, where the emotions are high, the stakes are high, the energy is high, and they're more likely to buy. And there's a couple things. Objections versus smokescreens. If you don't know, an objection is just like a reason why someone doesn't want to do something. But it's usually an honest state. This scares me, but I kind of want it. You know that they're in a fear state. The objection is going to be fear, and it's your role to fucking get them through that. But you know that they're in that position. They actually want to do it, and sometimes they just need a kick over the edge. Everyone needs a kick over the edge. It's very unlikely that you'll have someone who wants something that you have, likes you, can afford it. Very unlikely that they won't have an element of fear. And it's your job just to fucking cradle them over the line. Whereas a smoke screen is just a polite way of saying no. Let me escape without feeling bad. I need to go speak to my partner. I need to go think about it. I need to go check the fucking dog's got water in his bowl. Like, all of this shit is just a smoke screen. Probably because you haven't got to a point where they're going to be honest enough with you to actually give you the real answer of how they're feeling. And if you're at that point, then you need to fucking improve a few, lines of questioning along the way, which we'll get into. For me, with smoke screens, the best thing you can do is call them out. Otherwise, they're just lying to you. I'm a big believer in calling people out and addressing the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room essentially is just like, they're thinking it and you're thinking it, you fucking say it. If they're like not, paying attention during a call and you let them not pay attention, you've lost your authority, you've lost your frame, you've lost everything. So you have to call it out. That's not necessarily a smoke screen, but it's just an example of fucking calling people out on call. There's only 3 objections that matter. So the big 3, and 95% of them are going to be one of these. If you don't know them, going to be fear, going to be money, going to be partner can sometimes be a smoke screen, but they're usually like the primary three. So for me, the number one thing that you can do is fucking learn how to handle them in every scenario. And it's like an actor doesn't turn up to set without knowing his line. A sales rep doesn't turn up to a call without knowing their script, without knowing the fucking objection handles, without not knowing the onboarding process. You need to know all of this. And I believe a lot of people kind of overlook it. They think, oh, you know, I'll read the script when I get there. It's like, you need to know this stuff verbatim so you can say it with conviction, you can say it easily, you can say it swiftly and cleanly. Because at the end of the day, your sole job is to make them fucking basically look in the mirror and tell themselves that they don't want to change. 99.9% of people want to change. They wouldn't be there if they didn't want to change. So the primary thing, like I said, they have to fucking address it to themselves. And they'll either choose to level up, make a change, become the person they want to be, or they'll stay at the bottom. They'll stay as a fucking little bit for the rest of their life, or the next 12 months will roll around and then they'll be back on a fucking call with you or back on a call with someone else offering a similar product because they were ready. They just didn't have the minerals to fucking step up. AKA, you didn't enable that, but you can pre-handle them like a pro. There's a lot of ways that people will pre-handle objections, and I'm not the biggest fan of like pre-handling everything, but there's a way that you can play it smart. This guy, Don Draper, he's in a TV show called Mad Men. It's like I can't remember what era it is, like 60s advertising in the States. Real good if you're in sales and you want something to watch and veg out on for a bit. Watch something semi-educational like Mad Men. Obviously, it's not all sales. There's some drama thrown in there as well for good measure, but it's a very good one to set yourself in for. For me, pre-handling, the best way to do it is just set the rules of the game. Number one, it sets you as the authority. Number two, it means that when it comes down to it and they fucking bitch it, you can pull them up on it. And number three, it's just good practice so that you know that you're not going to get any fucking objections later on down the line. Realistically, depending on your level of sales, where you're at, who you're talking to, the offer, there's a lot of different ways that you can pre-handle. The easiest one to do is just to ask them, okay, cool, fucking Tony, at the end of the day, if we think you're a good fit, what I'd love to do is show you a bit more about our program and the investment involved, X, Y, Z. The only thing I love or would love is that you don't tell me I need to think about it, because that's usually just a polite way of saying no. And for me, I respect my time enough to know that I'm not going to chase you for a follow-up. But all I'd like to ask, if you're open to it, is at the end of the call, if you fucking hate it, you say, no, Connor, I fucking hate it. I fucking hate you. Get me off this call. But if you do like it, all I'd ask you to do is the opposite. I love it, Connor. I love you. Let's move forward. Yes or no? Very simple. Are you happy to make a decision at the end and go from there? Yes. Cool. Thank you. It's a very easy way. You don't have to do it. It will trigger some sales resistance. It's a good way for you at least to go through the call and not be like, okay, I need to think about it. I need to go fucking do this. I need to go do that. So you can pre-handle in a few ways. And obviously the way you deliver it is going to be crucial. If you deliver it like a prick and you're like, cool, you're happy to say that if you're out, you're out. If you're in, you're in. That might work. But for me, I like to fucking, mollycoddle stuff. I like to make it seem way less stressful, intense than it is. A lot of people end up pitching like uncertainty. So a lot of this comes back to you. If you're certain, if you're confident, then you can actually build a frame where people are ready to make a move. Something that I've typically done in the past. If it's more of a B2B offer, I'll be like, cool, just so you know, this is very much a business conversation. I'm not here to waste my time, and I'm sure you're not here to waste yours. So is there anyone that you need on the call? Business partner, sales manager, CEO, whoever it is there anyone else you need on the call to make an informed decision at the end? Oh, well, yeah, I need to go speak to fucking Tommy. Cool. There's no point us having this call if you can't fucking speak to Tommy today. So is he free now? If he's free now, get him on. If he's not, cool, we'll push it back for another time. And again, you can do this in a B2C offer as well. You know, if I've got for example, let's just say a woman who's just had a kid, she's got a husband, and the husband goes and works on the tools all day and he makes all the money. She's getting some money from him and some money from the government, let's just say. Happens a lot. Okay, scary. So Tony makes all the money. Have you got money of your own, or is this like a joint sort of thing? Oh, well, Tony brings in all the money and I haven't got any of my own. So, okay, realistically then, what's going to happen is we're going to talk and you're going to say, I need to go speak to Tony because he pulls the purse string. I don't want to waste your time. You got kids. Time is valuable. I don't want to waste my time. Again, time is valuable. How about we rearrange this, unless he's free now, to a later date so we can all talk together as a happy family, blah, 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 blah. Again, there's no point you sitting on a call. You don't have to preempt it not closing, because that's obviously a slippery slope. But if you can see the signs, then realistically, you might as well save yourself some time, get the right decision makers on the call. If she says, no, I've got my own money, I've got this, I've got that, perfect, run it, take it. You can handle the partner objection at the end. But for me, if you get into a position where you're like, it would seem as if it wouldn't be, the most logical decision to not have them both on, then push it back. Your time is valuable. valuable. A lot of salespeople will fucking devalue their time for some reason. As soon as they get on a sales job or a sales offer, they'll think they have to take every call that's put in their calendar. They think they have to take everything that comes to them. It's like, no, you're still in the qualification process. There's still touch points to be had. If you're not a fucking qualified lead, in my mind, decision maker, then it doesn't go. Like when I was door knocking, if the two, majority of the time, if the two homeowners weren't at home for the salesperson to go, it's not a qualified lead. You don't get paid on it. So it's like, set yourself up for success, and how to avoid objections entirely, which is my favorite part, the discovery. Bear Grylls had a TV show called Man vs. Wild, which was on the Discovery Channel. Again, a loose link, but I love it. So for me, the discovery is 90% of the close. I know from previous experience, I will get so few objections, it's a joke. Like, I'm not just saying that out my ass. It's like, I just don't get objections because people trust me, people like me, they know I'm honest, they know I'm fucking not chatting breeze. And if they do get an objection, it's usually fear, which for me is my favorite one to handle, because I know what it's like to spend money on yourself. I know what it's like to feel a bit fearful. I know what it's like to fucking take a new step and want to change. So for me, the discovery is where you get rid of all the objections. So they're giving you all these fucking objections, all these smoke screens, it's your fault. End of story. So if you do a proper discovery, you realize their pain, you make it real, you highlight the cost of inaction, what happens if they don't make a change, you paint the vision to be fucking gargantuan, to be the fucking craziest change of their life, to go from 0 to hero, to go from 1K a month to 100K a month. They go from no followers to 1 million followers. They go from overweight to jack. Like all of these huge transformations is what you build in the discovery. And then you have all of the power, you have all of the cards, you have all of the ammunition. And a lot of the time it comes down to asking questions that no one else has the balls to ask. I'm not here to waste my time when I'm fucking taking sales calls, so I get straight to it. I had a call the other day with a young lady. I was in a cigar lounge, sunglasses on my phone. I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll just call this chick. I was chatting to her in DMs. And as we were talking, I was very blunt and very upfront, because maybe it's like my brand, but I don't like to waste my time. I don't like to waste other people's time, because I don't want to waste their time, because I wouldn't want them to waste mine. So I feel like I'm allowed to be very to the point and fairly blunt, not in a rude fashion, not in a bell end fashion, but in a respectful manner as to, let's get down to business. Let's talk what your goals are. Let's talk about the fucking cost of inaction. Let's talk the next step. Boom, 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 boom. Very fucking streamlined, very easy. And for me, that just comes down to having the balls, the huevos. So if you feel a bit nervous asking hard questions, then you should probably ask it, because remember, the elephant in the room is the vision, is the key. The core framework. So the guy here, Bill Walsh, he has a business called the Objection Box. He's arguably the best objection handler in the sales game. I'm not afraid to say it. I take pretty much all of my information that I've known from Bill Walsh. I used to go to the beach and fucking repeat his objection handles in my head, because I was like, this guy is just a fucking objection go. And now I feel like, because of his learnings, and this is my goal with everyone that joins Cowboy Closers, or anyone who's on this call, is to just take what you like from me, take what you like from them, take what you like from YouTube, take what you like from the other people in your life, and then fucking become an amalgamation of everything. But the primary framework is, any objection, you validate it. Yeah, okay, cool. I empathize with you. I understand. I would do the same. Then you reframe. You give them an alternate reality. How would you feel if you did this? Do you feel like you making decisions like this has led you here? You know, give them different reasons. And a lot of the time it will come through analogies as to why what their current reality isn't what they actually want. One of my favorites is usually about how does, making decisions now has only ever led you to here. So if you continue making decisions like you do now, you'll only end up here. And where you are now is not where you want to be. So do you think it's fair to say that maybe making decisions in a different way will lead you to where you want to go? Again, you're reframing, and you have to have a level of authority, and you have to be able to speak fairly fluidly with this. This is why I'm big on people actually learning the objection handle, because when you come to reframe it, it sounds crisp. And that is a lot of it: conviction, confidence. Then you anchor them, you make them feel safe, you make them feel seen, and then you lead them to the decision. You lead them down the path, as I said before, and you go back down the loop. And the objection framework is very fucking easy. You basically ask a number of questions. If you get a yes, you go to the next step. If you get a no, you just go back to the top. And we'll go through that more in detail in a bit. I'm also going to do like a fig jam flow chart, so you can actually see it visually at one point, but I haven't done that yet. And like I said, you repeat it until the truth drops. Cool. So as I'm trying to make this a bit more fucking interactive, can everyone just put in what their number one objection is that they always seem to get? If you don't get objections because you're not in sales, don't worry about it. But I imagine out of the 27 people here, 26 now, someone didn't like that, just bang some objections in. I'm not going to wait for everyone. Too expensive. You sell yachts, so I'm not surprised. Anyone else? Fear, smoke screening to think about it. I just want to shop around first. These are all good ones. Georgia and Elise, fear is like the best, but we can definitely get you there. If you're getting people in a fear state, then they basically want to do it. Fear again, anymore. I have a boyfriend, multiple decision makers. We have a supplier partner. Why fix something that works? Nice. A few of these I'd probably push back on, like Reese with the multiple decision makers. I'm sure, I don't know how your operation works, if it's in person or if it's online, but like get them beforehand, before you end up spending your time, because then you're going to get the best opportunity for you to sell. or you address it very early on. You know, who else needs to be here to make a decision, or are you just shopping around?
Yeah, it's a tricky one because they're often like, so it's all pretty qualified leads, but when they come in, you've got one that tries to take control. And then you chat to them about the, you know, the quote and the proposal, but then it's like, oh, well, we've got to go back and then check. And, you know, it's then, they'll then come back with a comparison between us versus another operator. So it's like, that's where you almost have to wait for them to come back and make that assessment. So it's almost like, you know, I need to make sure that our proposal is better than everyone else's.
And as a whole, this is something that I know Bill Walsh does really well, is like, you need to validate how you feel about something based on someone else's opinion or someone else's feelings or someone else's review. Then you're operating from a place of basically fear. You feel like you're not going to get the best deal. And if you doubt your own decision making, then how are you going to make a decision anyway? And if you want, what I would always do, don't even bother. They're better. Go with them. Take them. I would push them away. I'd be like, if you're just here to fucking shop around, waste my time and compare everything, then you're probably not ready and you're probably not serious enough to buy. So if you want, feel free, sayonara. I'll speak to the next person who's going to do it. Again, there's an element of taking a pinch of salt with it because you don't want to push people away, but it's basic psychology. Fucking, if you get pushed, if you push people away, they come in. Everyone does the opposite. If you chase a girl too hard, she'll run away. If you ignore her, she'll run to you. It's the same with sales. It's the same with buying anything. But for me, I know yours is a slightly bigger operation, selling yachts. There's more going on. So the biggest thing I would imagine with that is just one, getting them to fucking love you, and two, just getting their level of commitment to making a decision. You know, again, you decide whether you're ready to make a decision today, or are you just going to shop around and basically stroke my ego for an hour, you know, and then fuck off. Reese, we were kind of just planning to do some comparisons. What do you need to compare? You already know you like the boat. You already know you can afford the boat. You already know that you want to fucking sail off out of here today. So what's the point in comparing anything? But again, I find some people are a little bit less, it's always harder to act like that when you've got, you know, people that you're working for. Whereas for me, I know that realistically, the more you push, the more they'll come in. I don't need your business energy. Same with Sean. I want to shop around first. Cool. See you later. Come back when you're ready to fucking be serious. But anyway, we're going to fucking continue. But yeah, good to see some objections. Fear is normal. Fuck fear. A lot of people, what if it doesn't work? I've done stuff like this before and it flopped. Fear of judgment, fear of a scam. There's so many different types of fear. And again, fear for me is just one of the nicest areas to be in, because I know that I can then slowly walk them through the process and I can dissect the fear. A lot of people have fear in their life. I gave an example to a community member earlier. You know, I was like, when was the last time you were scared? He was like, when I packed all my shit, left England and flew to Canada. And I'm like, how did you feel beforehand? I felt scared. I felt nervous. I felt anxious. I felt like, shit, this isn't going to work out. What the fuck have I done? I was like, that's normal. You're meant to feel like that. It's a big decision. It's a big change. Change comes from when you're tired of your own shit. That's when true growth happens. So all you do with fear is you make it real. You're meant to feel like that. Like the framework before, you validate it. You're meant to feel like that. If it was easy, then not everyone would do it. But you know the difference between people who are winners and people who are losers is the losers let the fear fucking dictate their life. They never draw a line in the sand and think, fuck this, I'm going to do it anyway. So for me, fear is real nice. And you can go into them. Was it the offer that failed you or the version of you back then? Because I know that most people realistically don't put in the work. They expect it to be a done for you situation as opposed to a done with you or a do it yourself. A lot of people are scared of doing the work, and this is why when I'm on calls, I'm very clear with everyone that I can fucking walk this path. I've already walked this path. The team have walked this path. The community members are walking the path currently, but I can't walk it for you. So if you're ready to fucking make your own step, put your own footprints in the sand, then you can. But it's going to require work, and work is hard. So it's up to you if you're ready to do that or not. The next one is you're scared of failing again. You can then reframe it. What's scary? Are you failing? You having to fucking go back to square one, or are you staying the same? And then just reference a small little story. Every good entrepreneur, every good fucking businessman, every good athlete has had setbacks. It's not the setbacks that define you. It's how you fucking move forward in the future. Depends again on the offer you're on. If you're selling the freedom lifestyle, if you're selling like a mentorship, a program, an info product, a biz up product, very easy just to fucking tell people about the classic entrepreneur story. Broke, bankruptcy, burnout, the 3Bs, the classic 3Bs. If you go and have a look at the founder of, I think it was Airbnb, it was like 30K in debt before Airbnb blew up. Like, it's not uncommon to have these fucking setbacks, but the only difference between those guys who win and the guys or girls who lose is that they let the setbacks fucking hold them back from the next step. It's much easier to move forward if you make a ton of fucking losses. I'd rather make 10 losses in a week than fucking 10 losses in 10 years. I'll learn a lot more from failing quickly, and that's how you can address it again. What would the version of you in 12 months time do right now? Again, this requires a level of reframing on, you know, what's this person that you want to be? So Connor, you the multiple fucking fucking business owner, entrepreneur, fucking huge personal brand, house in the Hollywood Hills, XYZ. Does that person value their time? Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to making decisions, would they make decisions with haste, or would they think about it for fucking 5 weeks? They'd probably make it with haste. Yeah. Why do you think that is? Because they value their time enough. Yeah. And do you think that by making quicker decisions and by just failing forward and getting stuff done, they'll get further in the long run rather than thinking about it and fucking sitting on the thumb? Yeah. Okay, cool. So that version of you in 12 months time, how would they make this decision? They'd probably just fucking pull the plug. Exactly. And why is that? Because they're a fucking go-getter, they're an entrepreneur, they're this, that, and the other. So you're always positioning the person they're going to be in the future to help make that decision now. Because like I said before, make decisions based on the person you are now, you'll only ever end up where you are now. Then you get them to say it. This is the main thing, is you can lead the horse to water a little bit, but you have to fucking let it drink. You have to fucking, squeeze their ego, give them a few little signs, set them in volleyball, and they have to smash it themselves. The money myth. The common lines are, I can't afford this, or it's too expensive right now. Realistically, it depends on what offer you're selling. If you have an ROI offer, a return on investment offer, it's much easier to sort of rationally justify this. But if you spend 10K now and you do all the work required, you'll make fucking 100K in a year's time. Easy ROI. It's a bit harder when it's stuff like fitness. So I spoke to my community guys about this earlier. I was saying when you have a non-ROI offer, return on investment offer like fitness, it's not really as tangible. It's less fungible. What is it? Fungible. So for example, I want to lose 20 kilos. Okay, cool. What does 20 kilos of losing 20 kilos do for you? Oh, well, I'll feel better about myself. Okay, cool. And that feeling better about yourself person who's lost 20 kilos and achieved the goals they wanted, how do they walk? How do they talk? Oh, they're a fucking gangster. They walk into a room, chin up, chest out. Okay. And do you think that will bleed over into your personal or your working life? Well, yeah, probably. And in working, what do you think that sort of new energy, that new vigor, that new identity that you've crafted will do in your work life? Oh, well, I'll probably fucking get a promotion. I'll fucking do this, that, and the other. Okay. And that, what does that mean? A promotion? Well, I'll get more money. I'll get more respect. I'll get more status. I'll become a partner. Whatever it is, you're just value stacking what they're going to become when they get the outcome that they have from your program, your product, your service. So you've taken a non-ROI offer, fitness, losing 20 kilos, to if I lose 20 kilos, you've now anchored it. If I lose 20 kilos, I get in better shape. I get the partner that I want. I get the promotion that I want. I get the extra money that I want. Non-ROI turns into ROI. Bang. Another way is to look at the cost of an action. What's more expensive, investing or wasting another 6 more months? This is great when you've got people who have been thinking about it for a while. And I would always say it on sales calls. Okay, cool. So you've got a couple of options. I guess what we can either do is you can decide to make a change today, or we can wait another 12 months. You still have a shit life. You still hate everything about it. Still not in the job you want. Still haven't traveled to the country you've been. You still aren't the fucking partner that you need your partner to be. And we can do that for another 12 months if you want. Do you want to do that? No, of course not, Connor. Why? Because I've had enough of it. I've done this, that, and the other. Okay, cool. So would you say that investing in yourself for once could be a smarter move than fucking living in this life of scarcity, fear, and hate? Yeah. Why? Again, you notice everything's question, confirmation, and then you question them with a why again. And the final one of my favorites is you're trying to save money, scarcity, fear, or finally learn how to make more. So I'll be honest, when I invested most recently, I was a bit like jittery about the price. It was more money than I'd spent in ever on myself. And the closer said to me, he's like, I don't give a fuck what you do. My life stays the same. But I'll give you 2 options. You either try and save money like your parents typically do, because I told them about how my parents make their money. That you either save money like that, you get to 55 and you've got a decent wedge in the bank, or you spend a fucking bit of money to make more. What would you rather do? I'd rather fucking spend a bit of money to make more. Yeah, bomb. You've got me. When it comes to money, you shouldn't really be on the call if you got nothing. Everyone's got a fucking credit card. Everyone's got a little bit of savings. Everyone can get resourceful if they really want it. If they've really got no money, then it comes down to how resourceful they are. I know that I've borrowed money from fucking friends, family when I've really needed it, and it's not always the thing that you want. But when you put yourself in a corner financially, you either sink or swim. And this is why hopefully you can judge the person, their character anyway. And obviously if the product or service that you're selling is good, then they should get the outcome. If they're not getting the outcome, then maybe you need to find another offer, because the outcome is what they want. And if they can get resourceful with finding money and fucking committing to themselves, then they'll make it work. Everyone has the money. If anyone says they can't afford it or it's too expensive, they say it's too expensive is because you haven't given the value. Price is what you pay, the value is what you get. So a lot of people will always say, basically, don't sell too hard. Undersell, over deliver. Simple principle. Broke mindset, broke outcomes. This is one of my favorites. Scarcity mindset, scarcity outcome. Abundant mindset, abundant outcome. The partner escape hatch. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, another great film. Common lines, I just need to check with my partner. Let me speak to my husband or wife or business partner. Obviously, what we do, try and do at the start is alleviate this by setting the scene properly, making sure that you have the right decision makers. But an easy way to get over this, especially if they have the money, they like it, and they do want to do it. So you just ask them, so what part of the program do you think your partner would like the most? Also, the most fucking imperative part is make sure you know their name straight away. As soon as you hear they got a partner, get their name. What's their name? Tony. Perfect. Okay, so what part of the program do you think Tony would like the most? I think he'd love that, you know, the community is so helpful because we haven't got, you know, the best friendship group at the moment. Okay, perfect. So it sounds like Tony's in. So what part do you like the most? Well, I also like that. Okay, perfect. And do they support you in your decisions and how you live your life? Yeah, okay, perfect. So it sounds like Tony's already in. So what is it that you need to know to move forward today? And you can push them. I've always had a bit of a fucking weird relationship with the partner escape hatch, with the partner objection, because I typically push too hard and I lose deals because of it. So there's a fine line between understanding that relationships could break down because of the finances and understanding that sometimes they're just being a pussy is a fine line. And you've got to fucking take a few calls to understand that. But you can definitely navigate this through 1 rep, 2 experience, and just learning the script of how to handle the partner objection. If it's a guy or like the person who makes a lot of the money, you just put the responsibility frame on them. Whose responsibility is it to make the money for the family? Mine. So why would you put the responsibility of making more money for the family to get the outcome that you want on the person that role isn't to make the money? Well, I guess that's not fair. Cool. So what do you think you need to do as the primary fucking bread bringer to make that happen? I need to make a decision. Anyway, we can go into depth on this. And like I said, there's a lot more to it than just this, but we haven't got forever. So I'm just trying to give you a top level overview. A good close is, are you building a life for them or asking them for permission? This is great with guys. Guys don't want to ask, they don't want to admit, especially to another guy or another girl, that they're asking their partner for permission, not what they want to be doing. So you can just lean on that. Again, I've done it before. You lean on that, you lose the deal. But you have to sometimes you got to step over the line to realize where the line is. Smokescreen. Daniel Ngannou, he's like one of the bluffing kings of the poker empire. Easy way to do it. Sounds like maybe there's something deeper there. Mind if I ask? Or can you unpack that for me? You know, what's the real reason that you're feeling this fear, you're hesitating? Because if you don't get past these sorts of things, then they're just going to fucking blow smoke up your ass. And you'll leave the call, because in my mind, there's 2 ways you win in a sales call. One is they buy, and the other is you know the real reason that they didn't buy. Because then if you get that data, and life is basically patterns and data, if you notice there's a pattern that you can't handle the fucking partner objection with a guy, perfect. Then I'm going to work on that to get better at that. So if you either don't close the sale and you don't know why they didn't really buy and they gave you a smoke screen, then you haven't done your job properly. If you don't close the sale but you really know why they buy, at least you can then move forward and get better. This for me is key. Bluff setting. So easy way to fucking intro, basically calling people out. And obviously it helps when you lower the tone, you lower the volume, you become that sort of calm nervous system fucking relaxation place where they can give all of their fucking time to bring them in. Like if you're holding a baby. So John, level with. So John, just off the record. So John, all cards on the table, all jokes aside, just between you and me, make them feel safe, make them feel comfortable. What's the real reason that you're not ready to change your life, change your family's life, get to where you want to be? What's the real reason? Well, I just pop. And then you just go like this. You have to get them to trust you enough to fucking give you this. And this is why I say always, you do a fucking good discovery, you don't get any objections apart from fear. I'm big into this at the moment, emotional and like nervous system regulation, because of the burnout that I went through. And what I've kind of come to the conclusion of is everything is about energy. Everyone knows it. You walk into a club, the music's shit, the energy's off, people aren't dancing, you want to leave. You walk into a club, the energy's popping, it's your favorite DJ, all your mates are there, the energy's off the charts. You're having a sick time. Everyone's enjoying themselves. Best day of my fucking life. So everything is about energy. If you turn up to a call after waking up, having a cigarette, having a wank, fucking turn up 1 minute late, you're probably not going to fucking close that deal. If you wake up, you get up, you go to the gym, you go for a walk, you go fucking have a good conversation with someone at a coffee shop, you listen to some previous sales calls, you listen to your favorite fucking music. You're going to put yourself in that better emotional state, that better sort of position to close. A lot of people like to kneecap themselves, and I've done it for a long time. Sabotage my own success. Something goes well, I get a bit weird about it, and I just sabotage it. I've done it before, and hopefully I won't do it again, because I know about it. I can see it, I can spot it. I've noticed it in myself as a pattern data. You find yourself doing these things that don't serve you, you should know if they don't serve you or not. If you're still unaware of the things that you're doing that aren't serving you, then maybe we need to go back a few steps and have a look at, addressing your own elephant in the room, your own issues, your own insecurities, because realistically, every person that sits across from you or stands across from you that's in a sales environment, a sales conversation, they need you to be the fucking emotional rock. They need you to be the fucking calming energy. They need you to be the person to call them out on their shit. They need you to be the person that guides them and fucking directs the way for them to go. Like it says here, let them borrow your certainty. And the person not necessarily who's less emotional wins, but the person who can actually regulate their emotions the better will. Someone says something and it triggers you, it's like, you got some work to do, my friend, because at the end of the day, sales is a transfer of energy. And this is what I preach to everyone. Have one fucking song that is your sales song. Live by it, die by it. Every time you fucking sell, every time you get a fucking meeting booked in, every time you have something of notable achievement, doesn't have to be crazy, you play that song, you stack it, you end up anchoring that emotional feeling of success, of greatness, of fucking kingship into that song. So when you do have your weird days, you have your down days, you have your fucking self-sabotage days, you press play. Boom. My song is Congratulations by Post Malone. I'm sure some of you have heard it before. And I play it every fucking time. It started 7 years ago, driving back in a fucking Jeep Cherokee on the highway from Mexico, driving back, securing the biggest deals of the year in the first few weeks of me being there. And I play Congratulations. And now whenever I fucking hear it, I get this fucking wave of fucking joy, this wave of fucking alignment, this wave of fucking energy. And we're not going to go into it now because it is a bit deeper, but like there's a lot of fucking different levels of feeling, a lot of things that music can do for you. The vibration of life is a pretty fucked and pretty fucking gnarly topic to go into, but the basics of it are, if you're happy, if you enjoy yourself, if you're having a good time, more than likely the person you're speaking to will be on the same fucking wavelength. If they're on the same wavelength and it's fucking positive, there's a much higher chance of them buying. It's a very easy fucking way to go in. And like I said, sales is a transfer of energy. This song here has been my favorite at the moment, and I just thought I'd add it in because I'm fucking loving it. I listen to it a couple times a day and it makes me feel fabulous. So at the end of the day, you're a mirror. I hope everyone gets the Michael Jackson reference there. But what you want to do is you reflect who they could be. You're fucking talking to their future self. You're calling them out on their shit. A lot of the time I'll even say that, hey, I'm not trying to fucking press you. I'm just trying to mirror what you've told me. Is anything that I've said been incorrect? I feel like everything you've told me, I'm just delivering back to you. Yeah, okay, cool. People will get triggered by the things that they say themselves, especially when they give you a lot of their information and you have them in this sort of therapist sort of vibe. If you bring the same sort of stuff up again, it might fucking push them out a little bit. But that's your role. Your role is there to make it real. This shit isn't here for fun. You're not here for fucking playtime. You're here to fucking change your life. Like, there aren't many things that you can do that will really change your life. Tattoos change your life. Having kids change your life. Investing in yourself and fucking making a big change to grow change your life. Like, this isn't being taken lightly. So you really have to fucking show them who they could be and who they are now. And again, the bigger the difference between who they are now and who they could be, the more urgency they will to buy. You'll find with objections, I've been in it, you'll just fucking talk yourself out of wanting to grow because you'll want to stay fucking comfortable. You'll want to stay in this place. I don't know if people have had it here, but I've had it before where when I used to live in my parents' house, they got a swanky pad in England. And I was like, I ended up spending so much time there that I didn't want to leave. I was almost getting like a bit of anxiety about leaving because it was my comfortable space. I knew it. I knew every fucking corner of it. And everyone's more similar than we think. So many people will feel the fear of growth and the fear of change. So for me, what I do, especially when people are fearful, is I change my tone. Even like in the last few minutes, my tone has dropped. I feel more, not vulnerable, but I feel like I could take in more of people's thoughts. I can fucking cradle them, like I said, like a baby. I can make them feel safe, secure. Their nervous system is calm. It's not erratic. Their reptilian brain is not activated. They don't feel like I'm there to fucking take all their money. They feel like I'm there to help, which I am there to do. So you sell the future and you anchor it in the now. And the final thing is closing on identity. This is the back end of objection handling. Because if you know the film Limitless, he starts out as a bum, takes a pill and becomes a fucking goat. It's exactly the same thing that you do. It's an identity change. And that's how, like, I would say sales has changed in the time that I've been in sales. It's changed a lot. It used to be heavy ROI. It used to be heavy savings. It used to be heavy discounts. It used to be heavy everything like that. That was all like logic based, rational based. Well, if you buy now, you can save the next 30 years of payments. Oh, perfect. But it doesn't really make people fucking feel like they want to buy, and they'll get buyer's remorse. Buyer's remorse is when you feel like you've fucking done something you shouldn't have done. You feel like you've been coerced into something. Whereas when you change the identity, it's very hard for someone to want to step into their new self and then go back to their old shadow. People will have wobbles and they'll feel it. That's why the onboarding process and the objection handling process and the next steps for the business to onboard them are so key, because you don't want them to fall out of the identity of the guy on the right. They're here right now. Most people are anyway. And even if they're not in this sort of identity, they feel like they are. So you just make this one real and you make sure that you're the person that gets them there. At the end of the day, it all comes down to frame. Again, I've said this time and time again, but the book Pitch Anything is very good for frame. You have to buy it on Spotify, but nothing worth having ever came cheap. So if you want to learn more about frame, setting yourself as authority, the master, not the master, but like the knowledgeable one, the person who actually has the knowledge to pass down to them, then you're in a good space. And this is why I preach constant education. This is why, to be honest, I do a fucking workshop a week. Obviously, it's great to speak to people, have people book calls, it's great. But when I'm writing these, I'm educating myself. I got an iPad the other day, and typically it wouldn't be my normal investment. But as soon as I get the iPad, all I start doing is this. As I start drawing out different objection handling frameworks. I start drawing out how sales is a change of frequency. And all I'm doing as I'm writing these is educating myself. And for me, I feel like that's the whole game. Because if you don't know enough about frame, you don't know enough about objection handling, you don't know enough about doing a good discovery, you don't know enough about the identity change that people go through when they fucking invest in something to change their life, then how are you ever going to be the authority? For me, I know that the authority figures that I will see in the world are usually the biggest business owners or influencers. They didn't get to where they are by not educating themselves. Patrick Bet-David said a bit about life is a game of education. The one who can educate themselves the most for the longest amount of time will stay ahead of trends, will stay on pattern, and will fucking make it the furthest. And I believe that. I think it's a good way to go and a good way to live. Anyway, I thought I'd give you some free value because I don't often do it. So what I've done is got this objection handling playbook. You won't be able to see it, I don't think. But basically, I'm going to share the link. I never really, apart from my content and my time, I don't give loads out for free. So what I've got in here is objection handling for fear, money, partner, and 17 identity shifting metaphors. If you don't use metaphors and analogies and stories in your sales calls, then you'll find that you're a lot less likely to get people over the line, because a good story, life is the art of storytelling. Sales is the art of storytelling. The better the story, the more relatable the story, the more that people can fucking actually get behind it, then the more likely you are to fucking get people over the line. Anyway, I'll put that in the chat now very swiftly, and then I'll just finish the last little bit. Make sure you make a copy, right? Don't fucking go in there and ask for editing permissions, because I'm not going to grant it. But feel free to make a copy. A lot of people pay a lot of money for this shit, and I've just got it in bulk, so fuck it. 98% of you won't use it. So it's not like I'm giving much away for free. And then we go into Cowboy Closers. Cowboy Closers, where remote sales professionals earn 5 to 10K a month from anywhere. We teach personal mastery, the psychology of sales, winning any PQ scripts, mirror system objections. And first and foremost, I say it's just without the bullshit. The priority is for you to get a role. The priority is for you to have so many fucking opportunities that you can pick and choose whichever one you goddamn well want. Because every role is a stepping stone. Not one role is going to be your path to fucking victory. Not one role is going to get you to where you want to be. It's going to fucking either help you to learn or help you to earn. If it can do both, perfect, run it. But a lot of them, you'll learn more about business, you'll learn more about marketing, you'll learn more about sales, you'll learn more about everything. And as you progress through it and see more roles, you'll be on to the right steps. Again, there's fucking loads of roles. I got fucking 2 more guys today messaged me about roles. I've got to the point with roles, to be honest, where I'm like, I might even start charging these motherfuckers for closers, because so many people are looking for roles. And this is why I'm big on teaching people how to become a very good fucking mindful closer, is because there's not enough good closers in the world. There's a lot of shit closers in the world. There's a lot of shit salespeople in the world. There's just a lot of people who don't take it not seriously enough, but they don't either value their own education or value the role as a whole to actually make money. And that's why 80% of the salespeople make 20% of the money. So the top 20% make all the money, essentially. And that's because they invest in themselves, invest in their education, they listen to podcasts, read books, because people are fucking dying. There's more and more entrepreneurs every day popping up. And for them to scale the business effectively, they need fucking good closers. You get a closer that closes 30% of the time, as opposed to 15% of the time, you're literally your revenue is going to be 50% down on the 30% closer. So let's say you're making 10K a month. If you have a 30% close rate closer, you're then doubling that. You're doing 20K a month. And for a business, that's fucking cute. And life and business is a people game. Every business is a recruitment business at the crux of it. The better the people you hire, the more the business will grow. The better the people you hire, the more fun it will be to work there. The better people you hire, the more it's going to become a fucking entity, as opposed to something that hits the 12-month mark and then flops. So for me, become a fucking GOAT closer and everyone will want to hire you. Community success, first roles and interviews, landed a closing role. Jackson, no sales experience. Louis, SDR experience. Jake, he's a fucking scaffolder. TJ worked in hospitality. Zach worked in consulting. Ayana worked in a charity. Marion had her own business. Dominic worked in recruitment. Jim has his own business, never done sales before. Reese worked on the tools most of his life. Darian did car flipping. Freddie, as you see here, bomb, goat closer anyway. TJ, Hit. I used to work with Kit back in the day when I was doing seasons. He joined the community for like a week and got a fucking sales role. Like, he was like, I just need to get out of the hospitality life. I was like, bomb, done. It's really not that hard to get a role. So yeah, that's basically it. If you want to fucking eat and join the posse, the link is already in the chat, but I'll post it again. As a whole, so we do 3 group coaching calls per week. The one today was on the objection handling frameworks, but like written on the iPad, which was fun. Usually we do a mindset session as well. Sometimes we do a little meditation at the end, which was, you know, new to some people, but quite fun. And then as well as that, we do role plays. So at the end of the day, it's like, if you can't get to where you're going with the help that I give, then I'd be very surprised, because all the help is there for you. It's a full 360 sales course. It's new business. It's fucking, by new business, I mean like cold calling, SDRing, setting. It's closing, the art of closing, how to use LinkedIn properly to get roles, how to use LinkedIn to build a bit of a personal brand, how to fucking actually get what you want. And even Reese the other day, he's working on the tools at the moment. He did a sales post, basically all from AI, and it went viral. Got like 175,000 impressions last time I saw it. And he's getting so many connection requests from salespeople, from sales managers, from business owners. So LinkedIn is a bit of a hook. Feel free to fucking hit it if you want. There's also private hiring networks, my personal network, like I said. There's every other which way you can get a role, the Instagram DMs, verified recruiters, my agency partner, Facebook groups, job sites, and we're just building out the in-house recruiter at the moment. So yeah, that's basically it. Now we usually run questions. Thank you very much for a lovely game of fives.